was amazing. I've just walked around the immersive exhibit and I just happened to sit for it, and I thought it was the best one in the entire exhibit. I think for a couple of reasons. One was just the visuals, the graphics, etc. were just so beautiful. Then of course the story, I think really resonates with it. It would probably resonate with most women or people from South Asia, etc. as well, especially. So I thought it was really amazing, really powerful story, really good to look at. Didn't feel bored at all at any point, and came away almost with the experience feeling a little bit refreshed and not, tired, even though it's such a strong subject. So yeah, I thought it was amazing.
As a man who comes from a place of privilege, it disrupts my worldview, I think in a positive way. I did not expect to be riding on a tampon down a bloody lava flow, but I love that, and I can't wait to tell my family that I did that. I feel like I've been on a journey and accomplished something.
It was absolutely amazing. I think the fact that it was this interactive, engaging experience through womanhood, like what it means to go through that, like having their menstrual cycle for the first time, and the pressure to even engage in like conversation about it feels like this shameful thing. That's an experience that is not brought up enough, and it was so beautifully explored, as also the spiritual element of that, and like embracing how womanhood and spirituality and like how they are inclined, and how they definitely have this, this journey. I think it was beautiful. The VR adaptation of it was so well done. I found myself like fully like going around, and I wanted to take everything in, because it was taking something that is shameful and something that's hard to even talk about, and it was making it into this beautiful, like creative, like engaging pictures, and the creativity was beautiful. So I was just like, I'm still amazed. It was a must watch.
It's something that, every young woman experiences her period, and like every man knows about it. So it's insane to think that some people think that it's shameful or that it's anything but natural, and so just to see it and to see the visual aids and the graphics were just so exceptional.
I found the piece to be very powerful and a very important message, especially these days. So I'm really glad that it's available for a lot of people to experience, especially those humans who don't go through periods themselves. There's something that's really resonated with me is how significant the shame is around this topic, and having grown up in Iran myself many years ago, being a teenager there and experiencing this there for the first time, there's so much shame around it that you just don't know how to deal with, even if your family is okay with everything and they've been trying to be very protective of society, often as not. And so there's always that challenge of like, how do you not feel ashamed of something that is so natural and something that you have absolutely no control over for the most part of your life anyway. So I think it's really significant that this conversation is happening, and it is being experienced in a way that it is very memorable, and it's something that I think is really quite powerful in the way that it's kind of shared.
Personally, as like a female, it was really fascinating to me, because I am currently going through some like hormonal struggles and stuff, and I'm constantly sending him TikToks on like what it means to have a period and like my different energy levels throughout my period, and so I really felt connected to it. I'm new also to VR experiences as well, so.
Yeah, no, I really felt that immigrant parent yelling at me. That was just oh, wow, eye contact.
Yeah, she was
oh.
in your face. Yeah, and I was like, oh
right
God.
There. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I thought that was very, very cool.
You're really taking on the journey, the mythology, and you really, experience the emotions of the character, as well as the fun and excitement of, becoming a superhero. I think I learned a lot about different culture, both aesthetically and how this comments on the superhero genre and expands it. Yeah, I think it was a really fun way playing with this type of arc and attaching it to a real natural process that like you wouldn't think have to be stigmatized, and it is in our world, and it gives a lot of power to that. So I think that it's well done in that way.
It has been revealing to me the things that I have been reading, and this movie gives me another side of the story. So I'm familiar, but I'm also starting to open more about topics that I didn't know so much. It's our responsibility to know the other half of the story.
I think it's a universal story because it's an unknown, and like it's the first time you're experiencing that, and there's so much peer pressure around it. But I think it's although it's universal in certain cultures, like you feel that a lot more. Especially like, for example, like I'm in Turkey. I grew up in a very modern part of Turkey, but like there's certain parts that I could see this happening and like relating to like how like shameful it can be for the girl who's getting her period back in the day as well.
I'm Kurdish from West Kurdistan, northeast Syria, and I think my opinion about Maya, I could relate to my own experience. Like we share almost the same culture at some point. So I think when I watched Maya, I was able to, it touched me, it moved me, and it reminded me of the women abusement back in Middle East on, you know, some places. So my experience about Maya, it's like, it's amazing. It's a really amazing experience, as I've heard a lot of people saying the same thing. Inspiring, powerful, moving, and it's like, it's basically authentic and personal, and it covers a lot of issues that women faces in the womanhood, and being like teenager.
Sometimes in my house, like growing up, when I was very small, maybe like 10 years old, less around there, my parents would host like sadhus, religious figures in our house, and there were quite a few times when my mom had to leave the house when they would come and stay with us, and she had to go stay somewhere else just because she was on her period. And as a child, I found that to be very weird, and it made no sense. And I would ask my parents, why is this the case? And I was always told that yeah, this is how it's supposed to be, etc., etc. Never made any sense to me, still doesn't make any sense.
I think we are as a man in an era when we are learning a lot, and we have to be as open as we can to learn and to understand some things that we were not told when we were kids. So I think this contributes to this. As a man, I can say it's a good brick in a wall I think we should build as men. So it's very interesting too.
I think it pushes you into a place that I've never been. I think that forcing the uncomfortability, that interacting the experience of other people, commenting on the menstrual process, and also forcing you to engage with the tampon and experience the color of the red and the blood. It's a good way of pushing you and creating empathy to this process that men just don't go through.
There's definitely women out there, they struggle, they don't know where to go, they feel like they're not just aware that this is actually very powerful. So I wish everybody could watch this. I wish they could just say, oh my God, like there's something really powerful here that everybody just needs to embrace.
But I think there's something so beautiful about the fact that in the beginning, there's, it's in your hands and you have the power to do something about it. And I hope most girls can kind of feel that early on, not having to wait and go through all these different experiences way into their 20s and 30s and things like that in order to start feeling that way. So I do hope that, more people can get to see this and experience the fact that you do have power, and there's nothing wrong with anything, really. It's just a part of life, so.